Beautiful. All right, so I'm Nate. And I'm from Huffing Asbestos Records, and I'm bloody wrapped and excited to bring you straight out of Dunfermline. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. In Scotland.
Yeah.
I've got Mike and Chris from Party Cannon. How you going, guys?
Good, man. How are you?
Yes, very, very good. Very good. Like I said, bloody wrapped to be doing this. This is awesome. I've been checking you guys out for a good couple of weeks now since Calvin sort of asked me if I would do this for him, and I said absolutely. And I've just been sort of diving right in and getting right into you guys, and I love the idea behind the band, and it just reminds me of our band a lot. So, and I mean, Aussie and Scottish cultures seem pretty close, I guess, because we're all ex-convicts from the UK. So we sort of have a lot of the same slang, I guess, and a lot of all that. So I'm guessing we'll understand each other pretty well.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, Nathan, it's almost like, imagine like two people doing the fusion dance, and it's like the Scots.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
In the middle, it's just the word cunt.
Yes, exactly. There's nothing more I love than a good use of the word cunt, and it just slips out naturally for us. I think it's part of our vocabulary, I think. So that's awesome. So how's your morning going anyway, guys? I know it's nice and early there for you. And what's a typical Monday morning like in Dun? Are you all live in Dunfermline, I'm assuming, or?
Chris does. I stay in Wishaw, which is near Glasgow.
Oh, right.
Calvin. Not far away.
It's only about, I just looked it up on Google Maps, it's about 48 minutes from Glasgow to Dunfermline, because Calvin said originally you guys were from Glasgow, so I assume you're all sort of all over the place and stuff like that. But it's all pretty close over there in the UK compared to Australia. You could drive 8 hours and still be in the same bloody state. So
yeah, you don't need to fly places like you do in Australia.
Absolutely. I mean, we've driven a couple of 10-hour drives to get to gigs, but we've figured out it's a lot nicer to fly if you have the funds and the means.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys have obviously been a bit quiet. I guess everyone has because of all this virus shit. What's that been like for you guys over in Scotland? Like, I mean, you guys got locked down pretty quickly, pretty hard. You guys stopped gigging back in, I guess, March, I assume?
Yeah, we were actually meant to have a gig in March, I believe, and the day before is when our lockdown bitches were kind of introduced.
Yeah.
So
just straight, that puts a stake in all the plans, because you guys gig quite a lot from what I've seen, and just hard, because everywhere it seems like, I suppose, like I said, the UK, everything's really close together. So you can just drive an hour and you can be in a totally different place, which is, I mean, like I said, I'm pretty jealous of that. So opportunity is not few and far between. But what's there much of a local death slam scene for you guys in sort of like a localized area, like I suppose Glasgow or Dunfermline, or do you sort of have to travel to get a decent show?
Yeah, Glasgow would be like the main one in Scotland. Like Glasgow. Like kind of up north seem to have like better scenes, but the Dunfermline is not.
Yeah.
It's
hardly like, yeah, I getcha. Yeah.
It's like a nice rural town that's for people who generally want to settle down or have families.
Yeah. I did have a bit of a look at the town itself, and it does look like a nice, quiet little town. Not somewhere where you'd find a bunch of lads that are, I mean, the logo might trick a few people, which I'm assuming is the catch there, which I absolutely love. I reckon that's awesome. The party balloons, I was telling a mate about it today actually, and obviously you guys would have. I've seen a lot of your social medias and stuff like that. Noticed how a lot of the fans have caught on to you just from the logo alone. Now, you guys started out with that logo. That was the first logo you guys had.
Yeah. Near enough anyway. We had a kind of earlier iteration of a logo.
Yep.
It's the same idea, just not as well done.
Yeah.
When we put like a perfect down and stuff like that, we need changes. Like the logo's got 5-year-old did the original one, so you kind of need someone to make it look like a professional 5-year-old.
Yeah. I mean, you could just use that in so many ways now. It's just perfect.
Too good.
Oh, absolutely.
The first version was like, rather than being stacked together, but it said Party Cannon, it was like side by side.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It just fits.
Looks better.
Yeah, that's it. And you fit it better on t-shirts that way anyway, so it just makes more sense. And it just brings me to the merch too, that I noticed that you guys have sort of coined the term Defend Party Slam. Have you guys had a lot of trouble because of that logo of, like, you know, I guess parents asking for that sort of music? It's, you know, if it's appropriate for their kids and stuff, like, do you really get gullible people like that sort of fall for it? And is that, I mean, it's funny to me, and I'm going to assume it's funny to you guys as well, because it's obviously one of those logos that you do see and you don't automatically think, oh, that's going to be a heavy band.
I don't think to make people like falling for it, that makes sense. I've never had like a parent be like email me like, "Can my son is like 8, can he listen to this band?"
Yeah,
I think people can like catch on quite quickly.
That's right. Well, I mean, all it would take. I mean, because I notice a lot with your songs, you do the intros from like movies that I'm assuming you guys are all fans of, and you know, I love that. I've been listening to like all your music on morning walks and stuff like that, just getting a good feel for it. And you know, most of the movies I can pick straight away.
Yeah.
So that's cool. You know, you got the 30-second intro, so maybe people do fall for it for 30 seconds until maybe the guitars or you know the drums, the trash can drums come in with the snare, the really highly tuned snare, which is awesome. It just fits the music so well. But also, you guys have a really big death metal influence, which is obvious in your music. And what I really like about you guys is you could have like a really grindy sort of riff, and then all of a sudden it just stops and hits you in the face with a slam breakdown. Was that how you guys sort of started out musically? I don't know, Chris, I guess you could say you're sort of the brains behind the operation, being are you the most original member from the start? Because I know you guys have been through a lot of changes too.
Yeah, I'd say the original members from the original lineup are me, the vocalist Tony, and our guitar player Craig.
Yep.
So it's just been us three. We've had we've had many drummers and many we had a bunch of film guitarists. But Mike's our second official guitarist, that makes sense.
Yep.
And he's probably the current lineup we have is the longest one we've had as well.
Yeah.
So, even more so than the original two members.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that. That's 7 years I've been in the band.
Yeah.
That is a long
7
stint.
years.
Yeah. So I guess you call
I was
yourself.
thinking about that last night.
Yeah. Well, you guys are like, so you said like the three of you are like, I guess the core of it now, and like. So would you guys started back in 2010? Would you say, like as a probably
this is the 10th year of the band. We're going to do some kind of like special 10-year merch today, you know, something like that.
Perfect.
But with the whole coronavirus going around, like, let's just shelve that for now.
Absolutely. Well, I noticed you just managed to start sending out some merch, you know, lately, and obviously the shipping is all affected by that. So, but I suppose it's good for you guys to just get it out there and just say, look, you know, it's all we can do at the moment, really, as musicians. We can sit around and we can do stuff like this. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but in Australia, we've been doing a lot of like live streamed gigs, which has been pretty cool. It goes well for a lot of people that just miss that aspect of going out on the weekend to see a gig, which has been really cool. So have you guys seen much of that over there, where bands are jumping up like at a rehearsal studio and just setting up the cameras and all that?
I've seen plenty on Facebook and stuff, but I don't know anyone personally who's done it so far, just with the social distancing rules in the UK.
It's a lot harder there, isn't it, too?
Yeah.
We had something similar planned, but as soon as we started planning it, the lockdown rules got even tougher.
Yeah.
So, like, they banned gatherings of more than 2 people at that point. So I can't.
This is nuts.
We haven't had band practice in about, 6 weeks then?
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe more than that, Nathan. So, like, we're all at home learning new songs, trying our best, productive, and then getting upset that we can't jam.
Exactly, getting the chops up, and that's all. Like I said, that's all we can do at the moment. So, if you guys have got an album ready to release this year, I read, is that still on the cards? Obviously, because you've just had that time to write and get it all together, or is it just sort of fallen to the wayside? Because I mean, you don't sort of have that same, I guess, motivation now because of all this shit, or do you have more motivation?
I'd say the album's like pretty much written now.
Yeah.
The plan was to have it all kind of rehearsed and practiced and kind of get recorded this year.
Which is the only thing you can't do.
Yeah. So I mean, we're kind of on the same stage with the album. Just it's going to have to be next year because we want to record in like Germany. We want to like practice it all together, make sure it's like perfect. But we kind of do it now.
And you want to, you want to be able to play a proper release
like more and stuff, and So next year will be when the album comes out now.
Awesome.
But it might be a blessing. Might turn out better. It might turn out worse.
Well,
we're kind of making plans to start recording it in January so
Yeah.
pretty much as soon as possible, which would
Yeah,
be
pretty
really good. We just need to be continually working as we can do. I mean, I don't think we've been too bad in the lockdown. I think Chris and Craig have been really focused on writing a lot of riffs.
Yeah.
I have fallen out of love with playing guitar for the last couple of weeks, but
Yeah.
I'm getting back to it, so
It's
I'm just like, cool, time to actually learn this music instead of hating myself.
Absolutely, and I'm the same with the guitars as well. There's times there where you don't play at all, and then you're like, you pick it back up, and it just all seems to flow. I don't know if there's all this, sort of extra energy because everyone's a bit more. Have you guys you guys have totally stopped working your normal day jobs as well? I assume because of this sort of stuff.
I'm working from home at the moment.
Yeah, right.
I work for the government, so my job's technically essential. So
Yeah.
I take out a laptop, do whatever I do from home, but it's kind of limited. But I'm quite lucky though. I get to still. I work in Glasgow, which is like an hour away from where I live.
Yep.
So once a week, I still get to go into my office, and that's deemed essential. I mean, it probably isn't that essential, but it's just nice to be out of the house. So
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
things.
It makes a big difference. It definitely makes a big difference.
Yeah.
They're like, but maybe people that weren't so, keen on going out before, but now they actually can't, and it's like, well, maybe they want to now. It's really weird time for a lot of, especially me. Like I can either stay home or I love going to gigs as well, but there's weekends where you do just want to stay home. But I find myself now wanting to go out more than ever, like every weekend, and because you can't. It's just like you tell a kid you can't do something, and they want to do it twice as much. So.
Absolutely, I think it's because you've had that, like, the ability taken away from you, that everybody's like, it's time to go. We found that, like, I found that in Scotland. There's a lot of people who haven't exercised in about 30 years. Somehow bought bikes or go on walks every single day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been one of those people. I've never been like a jogger or a runner or anything, but I've been running nearly every day.
I'm the same.
Like, fuck this, I need exercise.
That's right. And now it's like a lot of people are picking up those good sort of habits rather than falling backwards, I guess, and being more isolated because when you're told it's like you take the freedom for granted, I guess, a little bit. And like Mike said, I mean, I take my dog on a walk now, and I reckon there's at least 30 new dogs in the neighbourhood just for just everyone's out exercising all of a sudden, and it's a new thing, and like everyone's out with their families, and it's actually it's nice. Nobody's socially distancing outside, but then when it comes to inside, we're all back to playing by the rules and stuff. So it's a new thing for everyone. I think not many people would still be around from the last pandemic we had, which would have been, I guess, the Spanish flu, I suppose, back in World War One. So all those people are quite old, or most of them would be dead, I'd say. But just for us, it's just in this generation, we're so used to having everything at our fingertips, and I guess with delivery of items now, that sort of shit's just shot through the roof astronomically, and it just feels like what's going to happen after we come out of the arse end of this. It just seems like and like you guys said, you've got recording planned in January, and so does that mean you guys aren't expecting to have the restrictions eased until then, or is that more a safe sort of like?
Just trying to be sensible.
Yeah.
Pretty much, like the Scottish government put out like a 4-phase plan.
Yeah.
And it's all kind of subject to review. So it's in 3 weeks' time. They think, okay, we've got enough evidence to suggest moving into phase 2 and easing off this. We fine.
And then it's just playing it by ear.
Just kind of going with what we know.
Yeah.
Just going with what we know. We've got gigs and stuff booked from October onwards.
Yes, and that's Berlin Death Fest in October, isn't it, for you guys?
Yeah, Berlin Death Fest in October. Then we've got some UK gigs in November.
Yeah.
And if the guidelines play out like they've been planned, then it should go ahead. But just keep positive, but kind of realistic. Yeah,
that's exactly right. We're the same here in Australia, pretty much. They've just let us have 5 people over at houses for gatherings, and
really?
if everything goes well, by May 31st, we'll have 20 people, and that'll let some pubs open. I mean, it might let some local bands play gigs. I mean, it might let them have more people than they've ever had at a local show before. But when you put it into perspective, I mean, you have 2 bands, and that's already maybe 10 people. So I don't think a lot of clubs will open, and I think we're in the same position where it's like, to be sensible, nobody's planning anything until late in the year. And I guess for something as big as Berlin Death Fest, you got to just naturally assume that probably won't go ahead just because of the sheer number of people they'd have there.
It's the way it's working in Germany at the moment is events over 1,000 people aren't allowed, but Berlin Death Fest is just about 500, 600.
Right.
So currently within the guidelines, that could go ahead. And I think Germany are easing things faster than the UK.
Yeah.
But yeah, just got to remain optimistic.
That's it.
October is still, things change every week. October's still quite far.
That's right. And I feel like time has
See
been
what
going
happens.
really, really slow. Just sort of sitting here and just like, I guess we're all just twiddling our thumbs, and it just feels like time has slowed down to almost a complete halt. Like 2 weeks, it started to feel like a month, and then on and on from that. So, I guess moving on from there, you guys have done a fair chunk of US shows. I noticed back in 2015, you guys did the slamming down the West Coast tour with Epicardiotomy and Parasitic Ejaculation. Now, the first show of that tour was at a house party.
That was the last one.
Yeah.
The last one, sorry.
The first one was Bavaria Death Fest, which is pretty fucking cool.
That is,
Started
yeah,
off at an end
absolutely.
at a house show.
Yeah. So I did watch the video of the house party, and it looked like, you know, a fairly decent sized house. But what was that like? Was that I mean, you guys are Party Slam, so I'm going to assume that's not your first house gig. But what was that like in the States?
Yeah, that's been our only house gig.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah,
Well,
it was fucking cool.
Yeah, it is. We've done one of them ourselves, and it was absolutely.
Credit to Roland Lagoy for having us to
Yep.
start with. But that was like one of the most incredible gigs I think of our career, because it happened in Salinas, California, which is like the perfect crossing breed between death metal and hardcore shows.
Yes, yeah,
There's people there like throwing down and no one's getting upset, and then people are like push moshing and no one's getting
That's
upset.
right.
Everyone was just having a great time.
Yeah.
And there was like a hardcore band, a beatdown band, a kinda, don't want to say experimental or math rock kind of band, but something in there, and then us, and obviously Epicardectomy and Parasitic, and it was just fucking amazing. Everybody just had so much fun.
Absolutely, and look, and it shows in just that video too.
Yeah, did you see Garrett, our friend with the slam pants on?
Yeah, the guy at the start of the video doing all the slam moshing and that. Yeah, I mean, it looked like there were a fair few people there too. Like, just roughly off the top of your head, what would you say? Like over 100?
Could be. It was a bit.
It looks pretty epic for a house show, that's for sure.
It was fucking sick.
Absolutely, and because you're
I want to play more house shows, but
yeah,
play house shows in UK and stuff. It's kind of hard.
Absolutely, no, you don't really have
that. You
that
amount of space.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed too, like the size of the tour. Like, how big was that tour for you guys? So that was the last show, and where did you start? Was it from the you did do the whole West Coast, or was it sort of just a couple of places in between? Because I think America's
we
the
did
same.
a lot of miles. We actually got some really sad news just the other day, Nathan. The car that we toured that full tour in killed. We toured, and so what was supposed to happen was we were supposed to have a van and a driver who would do the overnight drives, because we did a lot of miles, and I'll go through remember the tour route in a minute.
Yeah.
But the car that we drove in, Old Bessie, which was a Toyota Corolla owned by Jono from Parasitic Ejaculation, was parked up and someone hit it and the front end got absolutely caved in.
Just go
But
on.
that thing took us literally down that full coast, through the fucking desert, all the way to like Vegas and shit.
That's a long
And this old car, we basically lived in it, and it was super bulletproof, and I was so happy, and we were talking about it just a few days before, laughing about it, oh Bessie, ha ha ha, and then we got tagged in this fucking post, the car had been annihilated.
Oh yeah. So when you say a Toyota Corolla and you basically lived in it, I'm assuming that was just out of the sheer. You guys toured knowing that, you know, it was off your own backs. Obviously, were you guys signed to the label back then?
Yeah. That's just after our first album came out.
Yeah.
So
and you guys just wanted to hit
the
it
entire tour for us.
Yeah.
So they got us all sorted out. Their plan was to have a van for us so that we could tour with the other two bands.
Yeah.
But the van ended up being double booked like last minute, and we couldn't get anything. So the way it worked out was it 2 cars? Just 2 cars?
Yeah, we meant to have 2 bands, but we ended up with 1 band and 2 cars instead.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yeah.
Fucking nightmare, but it worked out.
Yeah, well, that's right. And those things usually do work out in the weirdest situations, always in the weirdest ways too, like a little shitty Toyota Corolla, because that's a bloody long drive down the west coast of the United States. That is a big country.
I'll go through the tour route if I can remember it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. So we started off in Oakland, California, so around about San Francisco. We then went to Sacramento,
Yep.
California, Portland, Oregon, Salt Lake City, Utah.
Jesus.
Then I think we went into Texas. Is that right? Straight after that,
Wow.
and that was we went to
Was it on Denver first?
Denver, Colorado as well. That's right.
Yeah.
And then El Paso, Texas, Amarillo, Texas. We went in Dallas, weren't we? That was Reno's Chop Shop.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and then
We played.
where else were we in Texas? That was next to the border.
We played Austin. Did you say Austin?
I didn't say Austin, so that's the fourth one. We did four in Texas.
Yeah.
We were right up on the border. We went to Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yep.
Fuck me.
Did-
Yeah, we went to Scottsdale. That gig was really good, but I remember it being the hottest place I'd ever been in my life.
That
And
was
for you guys especially.
But somehow under a canopy.
No, that was Austin. That was Austin you're picking up.
Oh, that was the worst.
Arizona was just like a small club. But I remember.
Did the Unborn played with us there?
No, it was El Paso.
Oh man, my brain's not working.
Yeah, we played with Mike White's band there.
Oh, yeah! That's where we were getting asked, like, oh, do you know the owner? Because he's Scottish.
Yeah, right.
That's
And I was
we stayed in a really nice hotel and Martin got really drunk.
That's when they all went to the strippers and David Bednar had a event in his trousers.
That's exactly.
Right, I'll tell the story because that's what I feel on David.
Lovely.
We started the tour, right, bear in mind, none of the three bands had met each other. We were all like, right, nobody is masturbating on tour, we're all too close together.
Yep.
Wanking. And the challenge was the first person to break had to buy everyone a steak dinner.
Yep.
Well, about halfway through the tour, a lot of the boys decided that going to a strip club was a good idea, and they were all pretty drunk, and I went to my bed. I was woken up by Martin being sick for about 4 hours and making the most amount of noise. The one night we got to stay in a fancy hotel with nice beds, and Martin comes in and he's like, oh god, no, like, all night. And then it turns out that one of the guys who went to the strip club had a wet dream.
From no wanking. Oh, that's fucking
I think the part that came from that was everyone going, well, actually, none of us really stuck to the challenge. To be honest.
Yeah, that's it. It all comes out then, doesn't it?
It told me like Alice like 3 days.
That's good. It's funny, one person drops and it all comes out, but nobody was really following the rules.
That was that. Everybody just wanted to try and get a steak dinner at someone
That's
else's.
exactly, yeah, you hold out as long as you can, just Oh, that's
that was great. That was so good. So after Scottsdale was Vegas.
I think so. I can't remember.
I think that when we drove to Vegas.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we went from Vegas to LA.
Was it not something weird? It was not LA, Vegas, then Salinas. I think it was
right.
Yeah, it's a really weird group we did.
So you
did a lot of miles.
started in Cali and ended in Cali as well. And just obviously that was
Yeah, so imagine like a big loop.
Yeah. So in driving, like how much hours of just driving do you reckon that was?
Oh, in total?
Yeah.
A million.
Yeah. That's a fucking long drive, man. That's huge.
Genuinely, I think it was on average 6 or 7 hours a day. Some days we were maybe only doing 3. Some days we were doing fucking 10.
Yeah, and were you playing you get like arrive in a place, I guess besides Texas being so big, you get to do 4 shows there, but like every place else, would you sort of arrive and get a sleep, or would you play that night, or would it be sort of different?
Play that night and then head out in the morning.
Yeah,
so we did try our best to do some touristy stuff as well.
Yeah, absolutely, you tried to get it in.
The Heart Attack Grill, and I missed that, but we got to go to Dime's Grave. And we had a day off during the tour as well, when we went to a national park, because I forgot all about that. And we went like exploring up a gorge and shit. That was fucking cool.
That's awesome, because that's the kind of stuff you might. I'm assuming you guys planned the tour all yourself, and you knew it was going to be crammed. You knew what you're in for. So it's nice to have those just like even just a couple of hours where you can go and see the scenery, and especially being a bunch of Scottish lads in America. I mean, that would have just been. Was that all your guys' first time in the United States?
Mine.
Yep.
Yeah, I toured America the 2 years before my other band.
2013. Yeah.
So I kind of like half knew what to expect, but yeah, it's great.
Was
Still an amazing experience.
Was 2013? Was that the split EP, or was that later than that?
2013. The split EP came out last year.
Yes. Yeah.
2015 was Party in Half. That was like our first proper release.
Yeah.
That's what got us signed to Corollas.
Oh, awesome! And I love the album cover for Party in Half. It's like, you sort of just have that same party kind of vibe. But I also noticed now with the last album, it's got a more you got a like really cool artwork done. Was that just because it was the split EP and you all decided on something more middle ground for you guys?
Yeah, split
With
our older releases, we're still going to keep all the art kind of like DIY, kind of more kind of like Tom Savini type DIY, just B-movie pick gore.
Absolutely.
I think it's a bit more interesting, a bit more us.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Yourself.
Yeah, it's just all brutal for the sake of being brutal, isn't it? That's what I love about this. We're just all a bunch of normal guys, but turn the music on, and we all of a sudden we're all different. It's cool. Now I noticed you're wearing an Ormsby guitar hat there, Mike.
Yes, I am.
You
and the two guys.
Yes, very nice looking guitars. They're very nice. The pink one especially. That's a nice one. What brought you onto Ormsby Guitars, mate? Where'd you hear about them? Obviously, they're a decently sized brand, but even I've only heard about them for the past maybe few years. So, how old are those guitars there behind you?
The Goliath I've had for about 2 years, and I believe the Metal X I've only had for about a year, and I've also got a third Superstrat shape hype that I've had for 3.5 years-ish.
So you've been on the Ormsby train for a while.
Yeah, you had it on the last US tour too.
That's right. Yeah, so 3.5 years maybe, up to 4 years. I heard of Ormsby Guitars on a forum that I used to post on, which makes me sound like either a weirdo or a geek. No, there's a guitar forum called ultimateguitar.com. And there was a page up there for builders and people who were like DIY and wanted to learn about lutherie and the trade. And Perry used to post all the time, and he would just post like, I just built this guitar, here's me testing the neck socket, or the neck pocket, sorry, I haven't put any bolts in, it's just there, it's working perfect, and just like giving tips and hints and just corroborating with people and just being super friendly.
That's right.
And I remember seeing a few of the guitars and being like, I need to have one of these, man, these are fucking cool. And then, when Party Cannon started building up a bit of momentum, and Ormsby started the GTR and the GTX range, between the GTR range at that time, which is the Korean-made ones. I kind of reached out on a post, just like, I'd fucking love one of these, but I can't really afford it at the moment. And the AR guy at the time, Matt, got in touch with me and said, I've actually been to hit you up, I know that you're a big fan and you comment on a lot of stuff, like, your band should be doing quite well, would you be interested? And I was like, I was kind of taken aback, like, yes, obviously. So,
absolutely.
I kind of went full throttle from that point, and I've been very, very lucky to not only be endorsed by the brand, but they now sponsor the podcast that I do as well.
That's awesome.
And so I'll randomly get a phone call from Perry, just like once every couple of months, just to chat, shoot the shit, tell me what's going on with him, ask what's going on with us, how the band's going, offer us some other little things that the other AR guys maybe don't know about yet, and just generally have a chat. And he seems just such a really nice dude, and I have been very, very lucky in the sense that I now own 3, potentially, hopefully, going to save up and get a custom shop and go for there.
Yeah, and that's always the hope. When you find a good brand, you just want to go all the way with them. And I, like you said, you found them on Ultimate Guitar, Perry just posting stuff, and that's where he would, converge with other people on ideas and stuff, and that's sort of what made him such a likable, not just a person, but a brand. And like, it's just exploded now. Like, they're popular. It's a popular bloody brand, and it's absolutely for no sake of his hard work, obviously, and his sheer passion just for making guitars, and he's bloody good at it.
I mean, if people seen half the things that happen behind the scenes that should be setbacks for the brand that they managed to overcome.
That's right.
I think they'd be fucking frightened.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 I'll speak to Pez and be like, how's things, you doing well? And he'll be like, oh, this happened. And I'm like, fuck me, man.
How's it going?
Yeah, but it's okay because I did this, I did that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that shows resilience.
Chilled out about shit.
Yeah, exactly. And people like that tend to not complain, they just sort of get on with it and get it done. So it's people like that are sort of built for this sort of industry, I think, because it's it's pretty cutthroat, especially with guitars. If you fuck up one, you get a pretty bad name and people just sort of go off. But I mean, you you play one guitar and you can be an advocate. It's not like he's, you know, paying you to say these things. It's like they're bloody good guitars, so it's just as simple as that, really, I think. And that's it.
I would have wanted to buy one anyway. I just got very lucky that a
Yes.
company that I had for years followed and wished to be part of or have a relationship with wanted to reciprocate. So yeah, absolutely. I think you're right.
That's awesome.
It worked out pretty well for you, man. Like, you had an advert in Guitar World as well.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking silly. I got tagged in a post on Facebook or Instagram, and I'm like, oh, what's this? And Ormsby had put an advert into Guitar World, and they had used like 16 players, so like 8 2x4 kind of small photos at top and bottom, and then Rusty Cooley and Dino Cazares in the centre. They were the two newest and obviously the biggest signings. But everybody, like almost everybody else, was in the advert too. And there was me in Guitar World. Like, what the fuck?
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's it. And like you said, it's just a shock to hear from them and offer you that sort of opportunity to get one of their guitars, just, you know, for yourself. And that just goes to show what kind of brand they are and how much they actually believe in their product, which is great to see these days because a lot of people just sell crap. And yeah, it's, you know, it's good to find a good solid brand that you can stick with. Now, and Chris, yourself, you know, I see the LTD, your bass. Are you more an LTD guy with your bass? Because I noticed the songs are really bass heavy too, which I love. You know, you have a subwoofer on, and that bass really just thumps through. And even without the subwoofer, you can hear it very, very clearly, and it goes along with the drum sound you guys got very tight. And I guess the drum sound has stayed the same over the time too. But back to the LTD with the bass, is that your bass of choice? And are you endorsed by LTD?
I'm not endorsed by LTD. I do really like LTD basses, but I did just get a bass endorsement last year, I believe it was. I'm getting like a custom built by Waghorn Guitars, which is a UK based company.
Nice.
I've not received it yet because it's all like handcrafted. It's quite a small shop, but I know quite a few people have been endorsed by them and they are good equipment. But once that arrives, there'll be more kind of pressed with that. But so I love LTD, but there's some flaws to it. So when I've gone to the custom shop with Waghorn, I've kind of based it on my LTD and I've kind of fixed some things I didn't like about it and kind of improved it, changed some woods and things like that. So once that comes in, I'll be posting some good pictures there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess that's the best part about getting a custom shop build. Like, you know what you like already and you know what you don't like, so you can sort of just merge that all into one.
Definitely.
And you don't mind waiting the extra time for a small company to make it because you know it's going to be made with love and some really good craftsmanship.
I know that. I asked for some really specific wood. I want my whole base to be made out of Pilgrim ebony because it's just really awkward.
It's a really dark wood.
It's kind of like it's like a banded. I think banded is the right term. It's like a banded wood, so it's kind of beige with like dark stripes going through it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so they spent the time to source a huge hunk of wood just to make all base.
That's cool.
Kind of all.
So definitely, like, it's cool just to know you've got a one-of-a-kind thing too. Like, I think that just resonates with anyone that plays an instrument. If you have a one-of-a-kind thing, that's just like really special. Probably the most special you can get, especially when made by a smaller company. Like, you know, you don't know where they're going to go in 10 years, and I think it's even cooler if they maybe stay as small as they are, or like never. It's like you have a one in it's a unique guitar which is just yours, has your name, on it and stuff. That's cool. Cool.
Yeah.
So,
from what we've seen of it so far, although it's still being built, it looks pretty fucking pimping.
Yeah, there's progress pictures going. I'm hoping, once again, I'm gonna make some videos and some press stuff for them. I want to keep in contact with the company and kind of build a good relationship.
That's right. That's right. It's the start of something beautiful, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I've played a few Waghorns that friends had. They've all been amazing. Like the fretwork's been incredible.
Yeah.
Just the designs on them. Like the guy who does the inlays. Is amazing. It's probably the best inlay work. It's so detailed that I've ever seen. And it's just good. Like they've been really responsive. They've been updates and just chat.
And
so
you get to know what stage they're at every time. So send you pictures. And that's cool. That's cool. Awesome. Now, for you guys in Scotland, starting back, I guess going all the way back to 2010. Were there any other sort of bands in your area that you sort of, I guess, rose through the ranks with? I mean, me and Calvin are quite fond of Scordatura, and I know they're from Glasgow, right? And you've also got Cerebral Bore. They wrote one album, but they're from Scotland as well. Did you guys? I mean, were they local for you guys? Did you guys know them, or growing up with it was maybe Cerebral Bore, someone that you guys would have gone to see on a weeknight or a weekend?
Yeah, we know both of the bands really well.
Yeah,
I've known Scottish Shura for years, like even before Party Gang started.
Yeah,
I've done a bunch of gigs to them. I'd say Cerebral Bore were probably the reason I started a band like
big
this.
influence. Yeah,
it's because they were the first band in Scotland who, even when they're outside, they're doing like big tours, like touring to Spain, or going to the US.
Yeah,
and he's like talking to Paul from Cerebral Bore, like it made me realise that you can just do stuff like this. You don't need to be like signed a massive label. You can just start a band. You can network with people, and you can just do it yourself.
All off your own.
Like I was kind of like mental barrier kind of lifted there. Like, wait, this is possible. I can just go to all these countries. I don't have to be stuck in Glasgow, playing to like 10 people, and wait for someone to offer me all these gigs.
Yeah,
I can just go out. I can go on fucking MySpace. I can go on Facebook and just send them a demo, ask them to put me on.
That's right.
And go to Europe.
That's right. And
so,
that's it.
It's kind of like an epiphany watching that band. Like, it's like, what the fuck? They can do it, and I can do it.
Exactly.
I'm not diminishing what they did by saying, oh, anyone could do it, but just seeing them do it,
That's right.
Their own effort into it, made me think, all right, it's possible.
Yeah.
So.
Because when we're all at that point being young budding musicians, and like it does take that, like you said, the epiphany where you realise, oh, hang on, that they probably haven't had any more help than we might have had, and it's just the fact of matter of getting out there and, like you said, sending the messages, doing the promotion, doing the legwork. Like you don't even need a manager really. If you have someone that's prepared to send all the messages, like that was Calvin for us. He started off doing that, and probably still to this day he does the majority of that stuff. And he, to the point where he even started organising his own shows and putting the bands that he wanted to put on, and putting on a variety of different genres, because that's over here especially we get a lot of shows that are just sort of one niche, and it sort of gets a bit boring after a while. So it's nice to see a bill where you can get a bunch of lads you might not see out one weekend, and you get them all together at the same show, and they stick around to watch all the different variations of music you got there. Not just and especially with you guys, it's like you could get someone that's not into slam at all and does not like the gimmick of it, but then they hear your riffs and they're like, oh, hang on, I actually really enjoy that death metal aspect of you guys, and like sort of you can hear the old school and the new school death metal sort of all crammed into one, and then you got the slam breakdowns. I mean, it's like the best of both worlds, honestly. Personally, I reckon, for my musical taste, because that's where we're at Cryptic Abyss at the moment. It's sort of just like, well, we love writing the fast shit, but geez, we can't stop writing these bloody slammy breakdowns, and it just gets more and more ridiculous every time you write them, and you're just always trying to, I guess, top that. And especially for you guys, like I said, you have these really fast riffs, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like a car hitting you in the face, you get these slam breakdowns, and it's just sort of absolutely out of left field, and that's what I really like. It puts you through those motions, because you must get those really fast circle pits, and then all of a sudden confuse a lot of people when they have to just slow the fuck down and start sort of slam moshing and stuff like that. I reckon that's awesome.
Yeah, it's okay, man. But it's like a comic book ads, like a recurring one. People would be like, I'm not actually that into like slam death metal, but like you guys, that you have like a mix of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd say that as much as like slam bands are just, I don't know, pure slam.
Yeah.
The main kind of influence for the band are kind of older ones that had a mix of both. Like if you listen to Suffocation, like Eternal Bleeding and Dying Keys, bands like that, they're still really technical, but it's kind of mixed with breakdowns as well.
That's right.
But I mean, I'd say the band's just as influenced by like old gore grind like Carcass and Last Days Humanity.
And you can hear
so
it.
There's that aspect as well.
Yeah.
So even when we play like grindcore bands and stuff, we kind of almost still fit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a kind of mix. Like everything extremely light, we kind of put in the band. But I'd say there's like a core element of having breakdowns and blast beats.
That's right.
Kind of move things around it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
the way I describe it usually is like the fast parts are tension because there's so much craziness going on, and then the breakdown is release because
it's a big exhale.
Kind of makes more sense. And
absolutely.
Much surge.
Yeah.
I just got it. Like I remember I read an interview with Mike Majewski from Environment when I was like a teenager, and he kind of, the way he described it kind of made me rethink songwriting. He went, the best way to have slam riffs in a song is to use the fast parts to build up to them.
Yeah.
But alright, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's not just slam riff after slam riff, it's like there's a purpose to each riff.
It's calculated.
Like, there might be a lot of riffs in our songs, and there might be a lot of parts that might change a lot, but there's like an overall purpose, and there's like a theme running through it.
Yes.
So it will be a breakdown.
That's right. And then I like you said, total slam bands, they sort of just keep that slam theme, but it's good to have sort of like a musical structure there to like, because I'm a big old school death metal fan. I love all that fast stuff, but I guess the term slam has only been coined and really popular for the last maybe we'll say maybe 5 to 10 years, where it's sort of really just burst out of nowhere, and now you've got YouTube channels like Slam Worldwide that just you see so much underground music on, and it's just crazy what sort of bands that you would have never even heard of 10 years ago are just all getting the opportunity now. And I guess there's not really much of an underground scene anymore, because if you get put on Slam Worldwide, that's already you might get 30,000 views over a couple of weeks just from that alone, because of the sheer volume of
definitely.
Like you said with California too, you get sort of those two groups of fans that they either grew up on hardcore music or maybe death metal music, and now Slam's just a perfect recipe for them. Just to enjoy it. Yeah.
I think like OG Slam, like interruptly, and just going back to them, they've always been kind of influenced by hardcore as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of influence. I came from like New York originally, and that has always been a big kind of hardcore city.
Yeah.
So like New York death metal is always kind of a bit hardcore.
It's got that.
I can see what the crossover is. I really like Slam Worldwide, the YouTube channel though. Like we've been on it. I know Joseph, the guy who runs it.
Yeah.
It's a good platform for bands. Like a lot of people complain that there's like deathcore bands and stuff on it. It's like, fucking just don't listen to it.
That's exactly right. You got the choice of what to click on, don't you? I guess with the internet, being on the internet, it comes with those people. Like everyone has a voice now. You do get those people that just don't understand that they don't have to click on things. And I guess especially being bands like us, where your shirts and stuff, they're full of like gore and like really beautiful art. Like it's that's a subjective term, sure. But I mean, to me, it's all art, just like tattoos and stuff like that. There's a generational gap between who understands what fundamentally it is and who sits there and goes, right, they're not really like that when they go home. It's just fun to get up and just be ridiculously brutal, and then write music that goes along with that.
Absolutely,
absolutely.
I know. It's an extreme art form, so
exactly.
I'm sure it's going to be extreme as well.
That's right.
I understand people are like, if it focuses on like a certain group of people, I can see the taste in that. Yeah. But it's just gore is fucking as fun, right?
That's right. Now, for you guys growing up in Scotland, was there, when you guys were younger and growing up, was there much of a metal scene for you guys to go and see, or would you have to sort of try? Were you guys even into metal when you were younger, or was it sort of where most people, I guess, started maybe a bit lighter, with lighter bands, and then you just got progressively heavier taste as you got older?
I think Chris was pretty much into heavy stuff from when he was born, by the sounds of it. I took a slow progression from learning guitar and learning like Pink Floyd and AC/DC.
Yeah.
Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and
exactly.
then down tuning, Islamic God, and like into new metal, and just progressing to the point where it's like, right, if I really want to get super technical at guitar, I either need to learn jazz and just be an absolute dick, or play death metal and ignore melody. That sounds great. Let's do that and see what happens.
That's it.
I had a few bands I played in. I feel like I played in like a Melodeath band, so did Chris. Separate bands, and then I joined a death metal band called Agonized Deformity, and that's kind of how I got to know Chris, I suppose. Because we played a few gigs together, we had a good few chats, and then Chris asked me 2012 it would have been to fill in on that tour, January 2013.
I think it was 2013. The first tour was 2014, I think, with Laceration in Europe, I think.
I thought it was 13. Maybe I'm not. You might be completely right.
I think not. It doesn't matter. It's maybe a fucking real off bunch of days there, but it's not relevant.
Anyway, like the Scotland's had a fairly decent music scene. It goes up and down as it does everywhere, venue and band wise. I think there's quite a lot of or were a lot of really good death metal bands, or at least in that vein, in Scotland at one time. Cerebral Bore, obviously. Visceral Deity, they were quite a good death metal band.
One of the first local death metal bands that started to follow and get into.
And then you've got other bands that have maybe went on to do something bigger, like Man Must Die. Madman is Absolute, were a kind of spin-off from Man Must Die, if I remember correctly. Coexist, who are still going, but they're more grind.
Yep.
Scordatura, who have joined the same label as us,
Yes.
toured the States as well, which is fucking incredible.
Absolutely.
There's Bleed From Within as well. They're probably
Yep.
a band more people have heard of. Like, they started off kind of like a deathcore band.
Yeah.
They're quite big in extreme scene in Scotland, but then they signed to Century Media. Like, the current music's still kind of, it's still like metal, it's kind of like Lamb of God, but they're still really big. They're still like classic extreme bands.
Yeah, that's it. So I noticed you guys have played in Bangkok too, Thailand. How were you guys received over there? And you guys obviously had a ball over there, right? Was that a Southeast Asia tour, or was that just Thailand? Was that just a one and done?
Yeah, no, it's a.
Don't talk about it, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I couldn't make it. I had a family wedding in Cyprus, so there was a guitarist filled in, which is Joe from Iniquity Savagery.
Yep.
Chris's old band.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. Basically, we were planning this Asian tour for ages, and a bunch of Spanish were throwing our work. But eventually, the dates kept changing, so we got offered this tour, this 10-day tour of Waking the Cadaver. Do you remember them from MySpace?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was like their reunion tour, so going to tour Asia. We eventually got offered that, but the dates kept changing. So by the time that happened, Mike had other commitments that he like paid for and stuff. So it really sucked for everybody, but I had to get fill in. Obviously, we would have preferred to have like Mike there just for the size of bands.
Well, that's you feel separated, and it's just not right. Nothing really goes right with those sort of tours. Yeah. Oh, that's it.
But Asian tour was fucking like crazy. So we started in Bangkok. We played a festival called Brooklyn Italy, which the tour manager put on. There's like way over like 100 people there. In fact, each night of the tour, there was probably about 100 people there, other than one night. But people were nuts, and really, really appreciated us coming out. They kind of went, since they knew we were like a foreign band, I think they kind of went a bit harder, and they're like obsessed with merch. People coming by wanted everything.
Yeah.
I was meeting people there that I've had on Facebook for 10 years. I didn't realize, being like, I got all your CDs. You had demos and stuff, like demos from other bands.
Oh, wow.
Anymore. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we started in Bangkok, then we played 2 gigs in the Philippines. We played Manila and Davao, and that was the same. That was like a totally alien experience for me.
Yeah.
Davao especially, we played like a pool hall, and everything's propped up in like garden furniture and stuff. And
is that where Martin had to use a garden chair, like a plastic chair as a drum stool?
Fantastic.
Fucking great. But that was like a Tuesday night, and there was like 200 people there, and
wow.
and they were taking so many pictures of people in my entire life. Like, I had so many flashes going off. By the end of the night, I could see like spots and stuff.
Yeah, he developed epilepsy just from the night.
Yeah, I was insane. Again, like, people, like, it was an amazing experience. People were really grateful we were there.
Yeah.
I'd go back in a heartbeat. All the poses were nice. Everything met was brand new. We just felt we really appreciated it, and like, I really appreciate people coming down. That's good. Then from there we went to Korea, South Korea.
Oh,
so
wow.
it was the next one.
Yeah.
And that was also amazing.
Yeah.
Then we played Beijing in China next day.
Really?
That was probably the most surprising one, I'd say, because I know like where we are, you get quite a lot of like negative like news and just propaganda about China. So I was kind of skeptical, but that also turned out to be incredible. It was like over 100 people there. They knew who we were. There was local bands playing.
Yeah.
Like they had like a local porno grind band playing, and I was like, I didn't expect that in China.
Yeah. I mean, how do they advertise that stuff over there?
Yeah, they had all people out merch and songs. Like it was great.
Then
we played 2 gigs in Japan. Played Osaka and Tokyo, and for me that was like, I say that was like highlight. As soon as I formed a band, I've always wanted to go to Japan and play.
Yes.
It really always been interested in that country. I've been there a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So to actually play there finally was like a dream.
Absolutely.
To quote Chris, just before you go any further, as soon as I play Japan, I'm putting my bass in its case and under the bed and never playing it again. And that was about 2013. Is it like that's it? That's
peak. That's peak.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that was good. I've not done that yet, so
yeah. It's a good start.
Maybe we go back to Japan.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. And Waking the Devil have been one of my favourite bands for years. So to start like a shitty little death metal band into Firmly, then go to Asia with Waking the Devil was like kind of surreal. Like I appreciate every minute of it. the tour was really hard because we're flying once or twice a day.
Yes.
And getting
pretty long flights too, like especially from South Korea to China. I assume that's, or maybe not as far as I think, but
it kind of ranged between like 2 to 4 hours.
Right.
It's just madness. Like all the airports were packed.
Yeah.
We really missed every flight. People were getting held up at like customs and security for no reason, just for it was mad. Like it was difficult, but we got there. Like I'd do it again in a heartbeat. But,
absolutely.
It was totally different. We're used to just driving places.
Yeah,
we play a gig in England, we would just jump in the car, have some stops. Even playing America, like you get one flight, you fly there. But man, we were getting like 2 flights a day, not go to sleep, crashing in a hotel for like an hour, getting in a van, driving for like a storm to the airport, queuing, taping all our guitars together.
Yeah.
Man.
And hoping for the best.
It was different. It was really different, but it was great. And shout out to Gino from Slamman Booking for booking that, because that was
I mean, it sounds like he definitely deserves the praise for organising that, because that sounds like a very tightly run ship, and those countries can be very wary of, even if you're wearing like shirts, that have this sort of depictions of what we're into and the gore and all that stuff. They get a bit weird at the airports there. And I mean, I find it especially surprising that you guys had a decent turnout at the show in China, and then to hear that there was a porn grind band there, it's just like you hear so much bullshit come out of places like that where they don't get access to the internet and stuff. But like I noticed your latest Spotify stats. You're at, I don't know how long ago this was, but it's 71 countries you listen to in, and that must feel pretty amazing too. It puts it into perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've never really paid attention to like Spotify stats and stuff until my label last year. You can have sent me this like screenshots like, oh, these are your stats. It's like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, puts it into perspective. Absolutely. Like you think China's cool to have a listener in, but then what? I can't even name fucking 70 countries, let alone think about how many there are. So
no, right?
It's just like what you want to. Does it show you like specific stats of your most popular sort of countries, and if so, or do you know what your most popular fan base is?
I don't actually know. I'm sure it would, but I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole. I'm already set some up like Facebook and Instagram stats and stuff.
Sure. I need
to post every day at this time. This content on this day.
That's right.
If I add Spotify to that, life is ridiculous.
It gets ridiculous, and you guys are on all the social media, which I mean these days it's sort of silly not to be. You just get that exposure, and especially for a band like you guys, it just sort of, I guess you'd call it viral in a way, where it's just such a niche sort of market. If somebody hasn't even heard of the genre before, that's a rabbit hole alone for them. Like imagine starting with a band like you guys, Party Cannon, and realizing that is a whole sort of can of worms that they've just opened, and that's a whole genre that's actually available to listen to. It's just crazy, and especially in the age of technology we're in now, where it's just so easy to find shit. And so easy to fall down those rabbit holes just on YouTube, let alone Spotify, because Spotify will recommend you bands based off other bands you listen to. So someone might listen to, say, like Suffocation or something a bit more old school, and then they might get you pop up and see the logo, and it just obviously, like, it just sparks that interest, which is, I mean,
absolutely, man.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I remember when I first got into like underground music, I had to download it from LimeWire and kind of risk killing my PC.
Exactly.
All the viruses in the world.
Yes, and like you said, like when you were in the Philippines and even in Thailand, there were people there that like knew you from a long time ago. So it would have been a lot harder for them to find it back then, because I mean the age of Spotify is pretty new, and a lot of this, I think YouTube bands, it's probably since YouTube has been around, but YouTube is more sort of focused. You can use it as a more niche sort of market now to. With Slam Worldwide, coupled with a channel like that just is a sort of a stepping stone for bands like you guys that just sort of go, right, we want to release a song on here, and all of a sudden it's fucking everywhere. So it's pretty cool to be growing up in that age. So
yeah, definitely.
Yes, awesome.
Definitely helps. Like our drummer, he's a bit older. He's he's from Slovakia, and he's like the 30s. He's telling me that back in the day, if you wanted to like download stuff from the internet, you'd have to go to an internet cafe and camp out there for like 3 hours.
Nice.
The only way you'd find music is if people sent CDs to Slovakia and to like go for like local labels and stuff. Which had its charm and stuff, but it just goes to show that not that long ago it was really difficult to get like underground music.
And especially in those sort of countries too, I guess, where it was sort of like not really a thing for the internet to be that big. It was just a tool for people to use. It's different everywhere, but I guess we're all sort of, a lot of places are just playing catch up now with that sort of thing, and just countries are coming out of the woodwork and discovering all these like sort of wonderful little pockets of the internet, like, you know, finding a band from a little town in Dunfermline, Scotland. It's just all about this just absolute craziness, and it's just awesome to see, you know, like you said, it's party music, but I listen to you guys on my morning walks and runs, and it puts a smile on your face. It makes you want to run harder, makes you want to do things harder, and then it does make you want to go drink a beer or 6. So that's what I really love about it. It's awesome.
That's the aim. That's the aim.
That's it. And I mean, expanding on that, the aim of the band is you guys are just in it to have fun, obviously, because it shows, you know, you guys just love writing the music you do. Do you all sort of have an input on writing now that you three are more the core of the band? Or I've noticed, I watched a couple of interviews and noticed that Chris, you seem to write a lot of the music, or is it more a shared sort of thing now, or, you know, is it all?
I'd say when we first started, I probably wrote close to 100% of the music.
Yep.
It's just the way the band worked, like how we had members that couldn't practice, like especially a drummer at the time, we couldn't really practice as much as we wanted to.
Yeah.
So when we practiced, it had to be productive.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd just come in with a fully written song and be like, play these parts, if you have a better idea, just do it. Just get it learned. We've got a gig in like this amount of weeks.
Yeah.
We don't have so many practices, so just kind of, the pressure's kind of all out of the way.
Yeah.
But now, with the current lineup, we're all a bit more free to jam a bit more regularly and kind of put more time into the writing. So I would still say I write majority of the stuff, but I don't know, I think I just write faster than other people, so that's how I kind of
yeah, and everyone has more input. You just get the songs out there, and then sort of everyone gets their input on it.
Yeah, so I send out people to like change this part, or I'll add this, or we have to do this bit again.
For sure.
But from our first album onwards, Craig and Mike have been adding like actually writing songs as well.
Yeah.
Which is good, like kind of, and there's songs where we all kind of contribute stuff. So yeah. I still say I do bulk in writing, but it's more of a team effort in a way.
That's it.
But I don't really consider my writing, like if I write something, I'd say it's the band's song rather than my song.
Yeah. I get you. That's cool.
Like it's not really my sound, it's the band's sound.
That's right, you know, and everyone's in on that sort of same sound. Yeah. Oh, cool.
You're pretty frighteningly fast at writing out songs, and I don't mean just like coming up with riffs, I mean like writing out the majority of a song.
Yeah, it just flows really well, and
I know, it's like, it's weird, I go through like phases, like I'll have a phase where I just come out with like loads of passages, then it'll be like some like weeks where I can't put 2 notes together, so
exactly.
What has happened?
And that's the beauty of being in a band. Everyone's got their own creative minds, but when it sort of flows into the same sort of idea, which is party canon for you guys, it seems to work so well. And the songs do flow really well, and they're not just quick sort of, you know, 2-stroke done songs. They're decently structured songs laid out well, and you know, and what I like about it, and it's totally listenable, you know, even if you don't feel like listening to Slam, it's you know that Slam breakdown's coming, but you're waiting for it, and you're waiting, like when's it going to come? You almost got like post-traumatic stress disorder from the last breakdown because it hit you so hard, and then you're waiting for the next one to come, and then it just comes, and you're like, oh yeah. So you know, I've really enjoyed getting into you guys, and I'm fucking
I'm glad you know.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And you know, Calvin was telling me all about you guys, and just from the conversation we had, and then he sort of dropped the question, you know, would you do an interview? And I said, absolutely. I reckon that sounds awesome. And you know, just sort of, I guess a few more questions. I guess just like, you guys like, do you guys know of any like young bands like when you were starting out? So now people that might be sort of up and coming or underground in your sort of local scene that you'd love to take on tour, or anyone out there that's just starting out that you've noticed that doesn't get enough recognition around your area, or anything like that, anyone you'd like to give sort of like I guess a little shout out to, or anyone you'd love to take on tour with you?
Just sticking like, I don't know, purely local. There's a band called Cascaded from Glasgow. They're like a newer slam band, and they're really good. And they recently changed vocalists, and I think that's been like a huge step up in the sound. Like the last guy was really good, but I think the new guy just fits a bit better.
It changes everything. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Cascade, I can check out. A Huffing as well. They're like a newer death metal band that's kind of more technical stuff and Islamic stuff, and they're really good.
Awesome.
They just lost a drummer, so if anyone in Scotland wants to play drums for death metal bands,
yeah. Well, I was going to say, is there like, you know, there's a drummer shortage everywhere in the world, but I guess even in Glasgow for death metal.
I know paid well.
Yeah, exactly. So, like you said, you've been through a lot of drummers more than, you know, guitarists or any other members, and as it always, you said your latest, you said Stoney's from Slovakia, correct? So you guys all found him on social media, or you knew him already from other bands and sort of just like said, oh, you got the free time, or?
Oh, Stoney's our vocalist. He's been like an original vocalist. Martin's our current drummer.
Yeah.
I knew him. I didn't really know him personally, but I knew him from bands like back in the day. He used to be in a band called Stabland and a band called Demolition. It wasn't like, it's kind of death metal, kind of more kind of cool stuff.
Yeah.
But we needed a drummer for a filling show in London because we kicked our old drummer out, and the guy that we had filling in couldn't do a bunch of gigs. So I knew Martin played drums, I knew he was pretty good. I knew he must be equal or better than an original drummer.
Yeah.
It's alright. As long as he can do his gig, fine. They're not in the band that just in the gel. Like, he was a lot better than we expected. He picked up the stuff way faster. And he put in the time to like really learn songs and get better. He's like, I'm struggling with this bit, so I'm going to practice it and come back.
Yeah.
Which seems really obvious, right?
Yeah. But you don't get it.
To us, it's like, holy shit, a drummer is going to practice.
Absolutely.
Well, let's keep him.
That's right. That's a gold nugget right there. That's a keeper for sure. Yeah, it's true. It's true. You see someone put a little extra effort in, and it's just nice. It's nice, isn't it? To have someone that's ready to go. You don't have to baby them through everything and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, totally. That's like a problem we had with past members. Like, I know it's like, I guess a band's like a hobby, but they weren't really gonna put in the effort that the rest of us were. They weren't really gonna like bail on gigs and stuff. Like, oh, I don't fancy driving to England, so I just won't play this gig. Like,
yes.
Well, that's a big gig we can't play.
That's right. And not to mention all the US tours and all the international shows you guys obviously are willing to play. It's just like, it's not for everyone. It's for a certain type of person to be able to just to leave it all behind and just go for it. And I think that shows its own level of passion too, which is really cool. And like I said, not everybody can, sort of meet that level of dedication, even just especially. You know, with our genre of music, even it's just so niche, and you get, you might see the same guys in every town. They're following you down the whole, to every show. But it feels like a family at the end of the day, and you guys seem to have a really good fan base where it's just all a good time, and it's all a good laugh, and it's all the good tunes just come as a bonus, I guess. It's, and like you said, it's a hobby, and at the end it starts as a hobby, and it either it becomes your full-time sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess we still have job stuff, but it's more than just like a hobby. It's like
your jobs become the means to the end to support everything you do with that, and that's just it, and that's
definitely.
It. Absolutely.
I say we're in a fortunate position where the band funds itself, so we don't lose money going places.
That's right. That's right. And even when you do,
so you live like a normal life.
Yeah,
so
that's
live like a 9-to-5 life and still go to Asia and play gigs.
That's right. And I think you'll find a lot of bands are like that now with the sort of normal day-to-day lives. I mean, music, unless you're as big as bands like Lamb of God, and even them, they're not fully supported off their income from music. They still
they all have other business and stuff.
It's
gone. Workshop and stuff.
Gone are the days where you can just be in a band and start a band and then just drink all day long and still somehow make a profit.
Yeah, I guess the advantages though, right? I mean, if you're not relying on the band for your entire income, I guess you, in some ways, have more freedom. With
Absolutely,
you don't have to,
right.
You don't have to make something unmarketable. You just need to make something you enjoy and your fan base enjoy.
Yeah, because especially with how expensive everything can start getting, like with recording and with good gear and stuff like that. Like you've got a custom bass and Mike's got all the Ormsby guitars there, which are quite pricey guitars. So it's not like I'm the same. I'm a guitarist too. I've got so many guitars that you just never stop spending money on what you love doing, and it's just you never think about it twice. You never add up what you've spent over a lifetime because you just probably sit there and curl up in a ball and cry.
I'm like Del Boy from Only Fools and Horses, man. I can't help but buy and sell and trade and dabble and haggle and barter.
I don't sell. I just buy. That's my problem. I can't get.
That's my problem.
I can't get rid of it.
I wish that was my problem.
I love it. I guess just finish up with a couple of casual questions. So, like I said at the start, Scotland and Australia, I guess we sort of have that sort of middle ground where we sort of have the same sort of sense of humour. You know, we could all get along pretty easily. Have you guys ever thought, or has Australia ever been in your sights for a tour? A few shows?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we do plan on getting to Australia one day. Like, we know some bands are there. Like, we're friends like Distant Tomb and we're friends.
Yes.
Yeah,
they're nuts.
I know the guys in Futuristic Seepage and stuff. I know a band from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Called Organectomy.
New Zealand.
So,
we played with Organectomy. Yeah, they're mad.
Yeah. Fucking amazing. It's just more of a getting the right contacts. Like, we could just set up an Australian tour ourselves, but how successful it would be.
Well,
but we know Organectomy, so I'll talk to them about in Australia and try to work something out. So it's more about getting the right tour and coming over and making sure it's worth everyone's while. Because even from the fans, it's better. It's better if it's promoted more, they come, they get like a better show, rather than 5 people hear about it, they come over and they're just kind of like bummed to play like 5 people, like even people attend. But yeah, it's just,
I could tell you with absolute 100% confidence that if you guys were to come down here, you'd be received very, very fucking well. I mean, we had Organectomy down here, and we played a couple of shows with them. Yeah, look, and it's mine and Calvin's, like, I guess, sort of dream and wish to sort of, you know, with this interview especially, it's gonna hopefully be sort of like a stepping stone for, you know, both us and you guys. Just been like, maybe, like, you do have a fair few fans in Australia from what I've seen, which is good, and
I always see much from Australia, so thanks a lot. In Australia.
Absolutely.
We love you.
Absolutely, and you know, all it would take, like you said, it's who you know these days, and just from this interaction alone, and just from listening to your music, I mean, you guys would fit right in over here, and I think just the way the two senses of culture and humor and all that stuff sort of meld together, it'd just be like, you know, chalk and cheese. It'd just be great. And like, you know, you could have Organectomy and on the same tour, and New Zealand's great too. So if that was the first stepping stone for you guys, like, New Zealand's absolutely awesome, and it would be, you know, it's totally different than the United States even for you guys, because I mean it's still probably a lot of driving and stuff, but it's a totally different country. Even to Australia, like, you know, it's just so green. When we went over there, everything's just so green and hilly. It's just like, if you obviously watch The Lord of the Rings, it's exactly like that. It's exactly like that.
It's kind of like what Scotland and Ireland are like.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Scotland and Ireland, but with good weather.
Yeah, that's right. It's a lot. Yeah, I had a lot colder over there. Well, New Zealand's cold too, but they get a bit warmer than you guys, I think.
Doesn't take much to get warmer than us.
I know. A heat wave for you guys is like 23 degrees Celsius, and you're all melting. So I know. You'd have to get to Australia where we get to like a 40-degree day, but I mean, it's different. We live here, we put up with it. I'm probably freezing my nuts off going over to Scotland.
That shit is crazy. Yeah. When I was in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we all wear, right? I remember getting out the bus or the van even at a petrol station or like a service station somewhere down the highway, and genuinely thinking like, oh man, I thought these were like special effects when I watched Con Air and just walking down the runway that was orange.
It's all squiggly and shit.
And I was like, no. That's like real. And I was like, how do people live in this? This is unbearable, man. What the fuck?
And it's like
really nice.
Just a literal desert.
Strange as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I assume it'd be even hotter there than here too, because it'd probably be pushing 50 degrees Celsius.
Hands down, it's the hottest place I've ever been in my life. I remember outside the venue being really hot, and inside the venue also being really hot, but different type of heat. So you get fried one place, so like, I'm bored of being fried, I'll go in and be dehydrated instead for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. In the venue, it's more a sweaty, packed-in crowd sort of heat, and outside it's just like a, you know, dry, hellish sort of burn your fucking breath heat. You know, you breathe out and it feels like you just caught on fire. So, yeah. I guess, you know, finishing on the sort of sense of humour thing, do you guys have a favourite Scottish sort of slang or saying that you guys just whip out every now and then, or something that's just a solid favourite saying for you guys, especially being from Glasgow? Like,
in terms of like a Scottish slang saying?
Yeah.
I think Mike's best answer is the one.
I was going to say, I think of the 5 people in the band, I'm probably the closest to Glasgow, which is where the majority of I would say the Scottish sense of humour comes from.
Yeah.
Not to discard everywhere else, but the majority of like comics and stuff that come out, and the majority of patter, shall we put it, which is like slang, daft comments, comes from. I'll try and give you a couple of instances you can take away and mystify your friends with. Taps off, right? So taps off just means tops off. Right? In Scotland, if the weather is double digits, that means if it's 10 degrees, which is cold, taps off. Right? There is a website, is it taps off in Scotland? And it says yes or no. Right? And that's basically just based on the weather. And this is because your stereotypical Ned/Yob. I don't know what you guys would call them. I don't want to say bogan because that's the wrong term. But like
similar sort of thing. I get what you're saying. Sort of like the typical sort of I guess Glaswegian, or would you say like just your general sort of person from there? It's just the type of person, like sort of.
Yeah, it's almost like a kind of class comment.
Yes.
Like you're looking down on people who are maybe out of work, but they're happy to be out of work and whatever else. Anyway, 9 times out of 10, if the weather's above double digits, you will find at least one of these people in a park with no top, tracksuit bottoms, a Burberry cap, and some music playing off a phone. maybe a big violent dog running about, drinking in the park. Just
absolutely.
Fucking blotto.
That's exactly the same as Australia too.
You guys can have taps off weather as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, mostly tops off weather.
Are we in fling shite at the moon? Are we in throw shit at the moon? Basically just means no chance. Like, as if just like you're just like absolutely no way, right? So and like the context of that kind of sentence would be like if I was younger, right, and my mum was in a bad mood because I had been a wee asshole, and I'd been like, Mum, can I have money to go to the ice cream van? And there's like a van would drive around with ice cream. But I wouldn't fling shit at the moon. It'd be like no chance.
Not gonna happen.
You don't any chance.
I love it.
Giza Gonkia Dobber is basically like a I don't know, like a cheeky jibe of suck my dick.
Yeah.
Basically. Giza Gami is also alternative to Giza Gonk. Can you think of any other ones, Chris? Is there anything else I say like commonly that I'm not thinking of?
I don't know, man. The main one is they just say cut a lot.
Yeah.
I remember when we were first in America, like we met with Distant Two when we played America first time, and we were all just like calling each other, like they were calling us cunts, we're calling them cunts, and all American people were like, what?
Yeah.
Because I remember what Mike said. Mike described someone as being a good cunt, and everyone was like, excuse me? What the fuck?
That word cuts them like a knife. Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah.
And when they try and say it back to you, it genuinely sounds offensive because they do a hard T on the end. It's like cunt.
It's all in the enunciation. All of it is in how you pronounce that.
And how you look when you say it.
Absolutely. It's the same in Scotland, right? Like you could be down in the pub or talking about somebody like, he's a good cunt. That's just like a throwaway comment. He is good.
That's
He's
it.
a good friend.
That's it. Yeah.
That fucking cunt.
Yeah.
Different. Vastly different.
That's right. I guess it's the same as Australia. It's the place where you call your mates cunts and the people you don't know, mate. It's just like that. It's just that culture.
It's funny you say that. My cousin's partner, he's from Australia. I'm not sure exactly where, but he's moved over to Scotland. And I was chatting away with him and just asking him, like, just curiosity because I've never been to Australia. Like, I mean, I've heard the term bogan. I don't really understand it. Is that like super offensive? Is it not? Do people really take it wrongly? Is it like a badge of honour to some people? Like, I just don't get it. And then asking him about like people just being shitty in pubs and stuff, and he's like, that's it. Like if somebody says like, "What's going on, mate?" or whatever, that's usually a lot worse than you're getting a kicking.
Absolutely.
Between the lines, it's like that's when shit's really tense.
Yeah, it's strange, and like you said, the bogan, a lot of people do wear it as a badge of honour because, I mean, it's hard to insult an Australian when we call each other cunts all day long, and I'm sure it's the same in Scotland. We're pretty thick-skinned in that aspect. Pretty laid back, I think, compared to the Americans, where they're, I guess, a bit more wound up and a bit more uptight and loud, and sort of it means a lot more to them, their words, but in Australia...
It's the social rules, isn't it? It's like...
Yes.
America's taken... England have to be super proper, super nice, always really over the top friendly mannerisms and caricatured it, whereas Scotland's always just been kind of heart in your sleeve, working class, rough, tell you exactly how we feel. And Australia, I think, much the same, like just we'll tell you what we mean, not because we're looking for aggro or for any arguments, but because it's better to be honest and clear the air and just move on with shit.
That's right.
And I think there's a lot of places in Europe that are the same, like Germany, they don't really have any manners. That sounds really, really horrible.
I know exactly. I know what you mean. It's just their language.
I have feedback.
Yeah.
Even just like playing gigs and people would come up and be like, I really enjoyed your set, that was not good, this could have been better, but I enjoyed it. Yeah. And the first time it happens, you're kind of like, whoa, wait a minute, what the fuck? I realise that's just someone giving you an honest opinion. They're not bullshit. They're not just being like, sick, bro.
That's they're outside smoking a dart.
I'm not trying to being honest. This said a bit like that, but they usually know what they're talking about as well, especially these gigs. People like play are in bands. Yeah. And in Europe especially, like, the scene's so big that if they give you an opinion, you're probably gonna listen to it. And the fact that their culture is to be kind of blunt and honest, you know they're not just saying that.
That's right.
Fucking take away.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Well, I mean, this has been a great chat, guys, and I reckon we'll.
Yeah, it's nice, man.
I mean, I'm really glad I could get you guys out in the morning, and I mean, I'm glad I got the opportunity to do this, my first interview. So I'm feeling really good about doing this, and I hope you guys had a good time too. Is there anything you'd like to finish up with? Any people you want to thank or plug, or plug yourselves? I mean, go for it.
Also, thank you to you, Nate, for doing the interview. Thank you, of course. Thanks to Calvin for always being in touch.
Yep.
One day we'll license some merch, I promise. Yeah. Cheers, everyone, support us. Check us out. Written by Flesh Designs still owes me money. I want them to know that.
Yes!
I love it.
Yeah, so good.
Oh, awesome, guys. Well,
fuck you, Derek Pickle. Fuck you, Derek Pickle. Fuck you.
Alright, guys. Well, I hope you have a good Monday, and me and Calvin will be in touch heaps more. I mean, this is just the start of something good. So let's try and get you guys down to Australia soon. I reckon that would be absolutely awesome.
I would love it. That's absolutely.
All right. Catch you later, guys.
Thanks for that.